Hi, I am Tracy Wise. This is my third and final reflection for the ITP 5130 course for the fall of 2018 trimester at New York Chiropractic College. This reflection, we were instructed to make an audio-video recording, and in this recording we're supposed to reflect back upon the course, and half of our course discussed learning in a lab environment, a lab setting, and the other half of the course discussed learning in an online environment. And we're instructed to make the connection between the two and why it would be team taught. In the two settings, to me, the connection I made is that they're not a traditional lecture setting. The HAP courses that we take in this program are preparing us for that. And a lot of the ITP courses are preparing us for active teaching strategies within a lecture setting. But we also, lab is a different booger than a lecture setting. Yes, we have to provide some background information and maybe spend a few minutes lecturing, but the vast majority of the 2+ hours that we traditionally have in a lab meeting, a lab course, we aren't going to be spending that time in a lecture setting like we would in a traditional anatomy lecture. Same thing with online learning. You can't, since in an online class we're not meeting face to face, so there has to be more to the course than just a traditional lecture. And in both instances we run into probably a higher incidence or more creative incidence of cheating and unethical behavior, I should say, and have to encourage more ethical behavior among our students, because there is so many things out there that they can get their hands on. Quizlets out there with test questions and PDFs of the test bank printouts, and with an online environment, that those can be pretty tempting for students. Lecture or the lab setting with the lab exams, the practical exams, it does make it a little bit more difficult to cheat, but I have had students and have had classmates who would at least try. And so there's a lot of things between the two courses that I could see the connection between. How do we test in that lab setting? Because it's going to be different than in the lecture setting. And same thing with the online environment. How do we minimize the unethical behaviors? How do we discourage those kind of behaviors? And so that was the connection I made, that the fact that those two settings are not a traditional lecture-based setting. And really and truthfully, with the way technology is going and augmented reality and 3D software and everything, we may be seeing a lot more of an online technology base even in our lab setting. Like, I have a virtual anatomy augmented reality app that they can, on my phone, that will throw a life-size person into the view of my phone, and I can pull apart muscles and bones and organs and pull them out and inspect them and all that kind of stuff. And our school has 3D software where the kids can view a 3D, basically video dissection of various body parts, and that isn't as advanced as some of the other augmented reality 3D tools that I have seen. but you know, it's there, it's coming. Like the virtual microscopy, that was one of my favorites because I don't have microscopes that I can get to easily, or tissue slides that I can get to easily. And they're not that great a quality anymore, both the microscopes and the slides. But with the online, the kids can access them from anywhere at any time. So it, you know, for an online class, it can involve, the kids can look at the microscopic tissues without actually having a microscope. So a lot of, to me, the lab isn't just about dissection, and never was, but we're starting to be able to incorporate a lot more of an online environment, virtual labs that we couldn't when I was a student in anatomy 20 years ago. And also with the learning platforms, we can offer a more blended environment where our face-to-face time is spent doing active learning and various other strategies, and the time outside of the classroom can be spent on reading the lectures and in listening, reading, whatever works best for the students, listening to the lectures and being prepared to discuss, rather than just being spoon-fed the lecture and nothing but. I have thoroughly enjoyed this class, and have learned a lot about the online learning environment that I didn't already know or had not experienced as an instructor. The lab, it just reaffirmed some things and is going to help me make the transition to a college instructor versus just a high school instructor. I'm doing a lot of things, but there are some differences, and this class has helped me see those differences and see what I need to do to prepare for that. And thank you.